Chris Proudfoot claims he was in Memphis, Tennessee, when Sebastian Rogers went missing sometime between Sunday, February 25th and Monday, February 26th of 2024 from his Hendersonville, Tennessee home. Sebastian's mother, Katie, says she called Chris at around 6 a.m., maybe 6:03 a.m., 6:05 a.m., somewhere in there. Now, on Nancy Grace, when asked how long it takes to drive from Memphis home to Hendersonville, Tennessee, Chris Proudfoot said very specifically it takes, quote, 3 hours and 37 minutes from doorstep to doorstep.
I was in Memphis, Tennessee.
How far away is that?
3 hours and 37 minutes from doorstep to doorstep.
And what were you doing in Memphis?
Working.
That is a very specific amount of time, and it's almost like he Google mapped it to try and see exactly how long, and maybe he picked the longest route. We know Chris was relieved of his duties at St. Jude's Hospital in Memphis at 11 a.m. on Monday, February 26 of 2024. Chris was said to have been out of it and not performing in such a manner as to be a safe crane operator. Chris says he arrived back in Hendersonville that day at 1:30 p.m. So that means it took Chris just 2 hours and 30 minutes to make that drive. So I'm thinking that Chris could have driven from Memphis starting at around midnight and arrived at his Hendersonville home by 2:30 a.m. Now, between 2:30 a.m. and 3 a.m. is when whatever happened to Sebastian, in my opinion. The mystery lights appear outside the Proudfoot home at 3 a.m. The mystery vehicle turns up in the neighborhood just after 3 a.m. I'm starting to wonder if Chris could have driven that vehicle. Maybe he borrowed somebody else's vehicle. Now, SF Investigates says that that car is a regular visitor to the neighborhood. He makes it sound like it's somebody delivering papers. But I'm wondering if SF Investigates was able to make out the face of the driver as well as the license plate on that vehicle. And I'm going to say, and I'm speculating again, if Chris was in Hendersonville early that Monday morning when Sebastian went missing, he could have left at 3:30 a.m. and driven back to Memphis and arrived there by, say, 6 a.m. Yes, he would have been very tired on Monday, and it sounds like he was very tired that Monday. That's why he was relieved of his duties at 11 a.m., allegedly. And again, he leaves Memphis and arrives in Hendersonville 2.5 hours later at 1:30 p.m. So it is possible that Chris could have pulled off the drive to Hendersonville back to Memphis and still made it to work by 6:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. Having a coworker just see your truck parked at the RV park is not enough to make me believe that Chris Proudfoot was in Memphis. This is just my opinion. I mean, don't you find it odd that Chris is so exacting with his times? 3 hours and 37 minutes, doorstep to doorstep? Did he just Google that? I'm thinking that if a child goes missing and it wasn't pre-planned, you probably would not be so sure of your times and you wouldn't be able to be that precise. And Katie Proudfoot was also very emphatic, saying that Chris wasn't home that weekend. And Chris looks so self-satisfied when Katie says that, like, see, you guys, you can't place me anywhere near the house where Sebastian was before he went missing. Bottom line, we know Sebastian did not fly out of that house. He didn't walk out through the walls like a transparent ghost. Had he walked out the front door, as they want us to believe, he definitely would have been picked up on some security camera footage. It's possible that Chris Proudfoot could have been the one to ferry Sebastian out of there and ditch him along the drive back to Memphis. Again, this is pure speculation, but this is what we do in true crime. The police have said there are no signs of foul play. Neither Chris nor Katie has been charged with any crime, so they are presumed innocent and uninvolved at this moment. And I'm also having trouble with the three-way call. Why would Chris Proudfoot have to tell Katie to go back to the house if she was on the three-way call to the sheriff's office with Chris? The three-way call is as bizarre to me as the 3-hour call on Sunday night. It just feels like Chris is trying to establish an alibi. As in, I'm calling you around 6:30 a.m. while I am far away in Memphis, where I have slept all night, although I'm very tired this morning, but I'm still going to go to work even though Sebastian is missing. Why the heck did he not go home to Katie when he found out that Sebastian was missing? Does that make any sense? Was he like, oh, well, the kid's going to show up, no problem, I'm not concerned? I mean, somebody explained that to me. Did he need that part of his paycheck that badly that he couldn't drive straight away to Hendersonville to comfort Katie if she really was out of her mind with worry about where Sebastian was? Ay. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you next time on Bed Crime Stories. Love you guys. Like, share, and subscribe.